Guys having a bad time. Well, hello everybody, and welcome to episode 55 of the Let's Play world. I am back from my vacation and ready to get to work. Today we're going to spend some time on our village, we're going to do a little bit of mining, and we'll get into some fights with some boss mobs. We're going to begin today in our village, and I'm going to spend a little bit of time cleaning up some of this rough stuff here with the landscaping, and then we're going to build a house. So I spent this last week camping. I live kind of up towards Portland, Oregon. I went camping on the southern Oregon coast. If you haven't been up to the Pacific Northwest, our beaches are kind of different up here. They're very rocky and forested and really, kind of extreme geology and very picturesque, really natural, and a cool place to go camping. So I went with some friends and some family and, slept in tents, cooked on fire, that sort of thing. A little bit of a break from the media and technology, and just a nice time to relax and reset. Did a little bit of crabbing, a little bit of hiking. The weather was a little cooler than it is in town, so it was a nice vacation for sure. I find it's good for creativity as well to, just get a break and, see something different. Helps get you thinking and inspired again. So yeah, had a really nice time. Glad to be back and ready to get back to building. So we still have quite a lot to do here, but it's looking a little bit more habitable. This whole thing still needs to get pushed back and terraformed a little bit so it looks more natural. We're going to be building today just right over here by the bridge. I've got an idea for some of the materials I want to use, but as far as the design of the building, I'm just going to kind of wing it and see what I come up with. And I think we're just going to do a simple little house just to kind of kick things off and get things started. So, nothing too crazy, nothing multiple stories or really complicated, just a nice little single family house. So I think next to this we'll end up having one more building on the corner here, and then of course we'll have something across the road. So I think size-wise, let's see, come off a couple of blocks from the bridge here. Not too big. Maybe we'll do about 7 across, maybe about 5 deep. That. Yeah, that's a nice little building. And I think we're primarily going to work in stone and maybe birch. We'll see how it looks. And at this point, I'm not going to worry too much about interiors. I'm mostly just wanting to get buildings. And then once we have some buildings, if we decide we want to make some of the structures actually useful, we can do that at that point. I think I want the door to be a little off-center. Let's see how this looks. If we birch and cross like that. Maybe we'll do a window there. Yeah. A window on this side as well. Maybe we'll do something a little different on the corners here. This looks like we kind of do some walls on the corners here. Gives us a little bit of depth, a little bit of texture. For such a small building, it's hard to get a lot of detail in there, so doing something like this is a nice little way of adding some interest. Throw a couple of windows in here. So. On the roof, I'm not sure if I want to do slabs or if I want to do stairs. Stairs will make it much taller, where slabs will keep it kind of low profile. My gut is to go with stairs just because it'll add a lot more texture. Let me try it and see what it looks like. Well, it really doesn't look bad from this angle. From over here, it does add quite a lot of height, so I might need to rethink some of this. But I think I'm going to go with the stairs. I think that turned out pretty great. I did a little bit of cobblestone just to give the roof a little bit of texture, and I made the sides taller, so I extended the window by one on either side. Still need to do a little bit of detailing, but otherwise, I think that one is done. Awesome. That is a great start to our little village. I'm gonna fence the whole thing in, kind of like we did with our base, to make sure this whole area is gonna be mob-proof. Got a light outside, I added a light inside, and as we work along, we'll just make sure we keep everything lit up, and that way we'll have a safe place, and maybe we can even move some villagers in here. One thing I was noticing as I was hanging out here is just from here, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4 horses. And I feel like I should round them up so that we can keep them safe, and then we could build some kind of stable or something like that. Horse stable. And remember, if you have any ideas for the wall of tasks, leave me a comment, let me know what they are. Let's update our map real quick. All right, you can see the beginning of our terraforming up top, and there's our first house, the beginning of the village. Very, very cool. Next up, we're going to do a little bit of mining, and just like before, I'm going to do half an hour down here at level 15, and then half an hour up at level 45 and see what we come up with. So up here on level 45, I didn't have a ton of luck. Got a little bit of copper, a little bit of iron, some coal, and a little bit of gravel. Down here on level 15, actually had pretty good luck. I found 29 diamonds, a fair amount of copper, some iron, some lapis, a little bit of gold, some coal, some redstone, found some dripstone and some dripstone points, and then a little bit of tuff and some cobbled deep slate. So a pretty good haul for half an hour. While I'm over here at the mine, I think I want to go up to our outpost and do a little exploration. Even though 1.17 has been out for a while, I still haven't found any moss blocks. And one way to find moss blocks is to find them in shipwrecks. So I'm going to fly around a little bit, check out some shipwrecks, and see if I can track down some moss. Oh my gosh, finally. So good. Nice thing about this is you only need one, and as long as you have bone meal, you can make more and more moss. So this one moss block is going to make a lot of moss. Now that I think about it though, I realize we don't really have a great source of bone meal. We've never found a skeleton spawner, so that's probably something that we'll need to remedy at some point. One thing that's really cool about moss is it's easy to dig up. So you saw how long it took for me to dig up dirt. Moss is that quick. So moss is really nice to landscape with because you can move it around really, really fast. And then if we bone meal it, it should replace a lot of this with moss. Honk! Look at that. Look at all that moss. Got a moss carpet, got an azalea bush. So I was using green carpet before, but now that we have moss carpet, that looks much, much nicer. It looks so much more lush already, just with the texture on the ground with the moss and the moss carpets, the little azalea additions there with the little flowering leaves, and I added some bushes and things. They got the little stems on the bottom. It just looks so good. The one thing we're still missing is glowberries. Glowberries can be found, I guess, in mine shafts, so we might have to go caving at some point to find those, but that's going to have to wait. I'm going to use some of this space behind the base here to farm some more moss, just because we have a ton of room. And this space needs some landscaping anyway, so I think this will be a good place to do that. Okay. Thought I saw him over here. Let's see how this goes. Nice. This axe is incredible. There it is. That is it. The King's Sword. Looting 5. That is awesome. Unbreakable. Man, that's a great sword. Now that we have the King's Sword, we have the right to rename the kingdom, and we can break Malmog's curse. So if you have an idea for what to call this place, leave me a comment. Let me know. I've got to see what Looting 5 does here. 2 cooked steak and 4 leather. Does it have flame on it? It does have fire aspect. That's pretty awesome. And that's where we're going to wrap this one up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you had fun. Please like and subscribe if you want to follow along on the adventure, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.